Hey everybody, happy Friday and welcome to the Fanatic Forum. I'm your Fanatic and host, George Bueller. And then, of course, my brother from another mother. I couldn't do this show without him, the man-hammer himself, the agent of chaos, Mr. Seth. How you doing, sir?
It has been a long Friday. This week has been a long week for me. Like I've been doing or training to do like two jobs for the past 2 weeks now.
Oh,
And then
yeah?
this coming up week at work is like showtime when I actually have to do the job. And it's been like a long week. I haven't sometimes I get downtime and it's like I'm not up and moving around all day and I've just been bouncing all over the place the past couple of days. So I am tired, but I'm good. I'm looking forward to being here tonight though.
Well, good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the topic du jour here. Basically, of course, we're doing another installment of your effed up history. This time, it's stuff we think we know, but we don't actually know. So I am very curious about this one here. So
Okay.
of course, lots of things to talk about here. Of course, I mean, we've had a lot of celebrity deaths happening here recently.
Um, Hang
Oh
on,
yes,
you haven't announced something you haven't
you know,
I didn't know.
I was going to talk about that after this thing.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
I apologize.
no. You're good. We didn't get a chance to talk about that yet. But yes, I will. I will actually talk about that second before we get to comments and stuff here.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, right off the top, like last week, Hayden Panettiere passed away. Of course, we still don't know cause of death on that one yet. But this week, damn, our everybody's childhood and enjoyment of things was destroyed.
Yeah. It was
I mean,
Dolly, Tim Curry, and Peter
Peter Cullen.
Cullen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, so basically Dolly was end up being cancer, which I was kind of wondering, like, because she, was being, we knew she was in poor health recently, but she was kind of not being upfront exactly what it was about. Because I mean, she's positive. She's sweetness and light. So
right.
yeah.
I,
So it's like
I, I yeah, I'm used to the idea too of certain celebrities in their golden years, like just kind of, willingly stepping away from the public spotlight. Like Richard Simmons he was a famous, very famously, that was a dude that was everywhere, and then suddenly
mhm,
he was just nowhere because he just stopped liking the way he looked. And
yeah.
Dolly was the same way. She just didn't want to pop out anywhere that she wasn't gonna look her best. And it's like
Yeah,
it's I respect that one to do it in your own way, and
yeah.
it's like I just
Yeah,
and
100%. But man, I tell you what a legacy, what a woman, what just so much good she brought into the world, and just if anybody has anything bad to say about Dolly Parton, step forward because I'm telling you what.
I haven't heard I haven't heard a crossword about it. I think the worst things that I heard was in her book or in her autobiography in the 80s she had a sort of fling with her guitar player at one point with maybe her and Burt Reynolds got together on Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, but yeah, it's like okay,
I
well,
mean,
settle down there, Dolly.
it's Burt Reynolds, man. I mean,
I mean, yeah, I mean,
yeah, can't blame him. And of course, Tim Curry passed away. We still haven't got an official cause of death with him, but of course, I mean, he had the big stroke, and he's had aneurysms, and been in a wheelchair for a while. So he's been in pretty poor
yeah.
health for a while too. But man, just again, what a just his theater roster, the movies he's been in, just pick a favorite Tim Curry thing,
Yeah, and not even not even to take away from anything that he was actually in, but then some of the stuff that apparently he was heavily considered for. Like apparently he desperately wanted to play Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs,
Yep.
and think about that one. And
Mhm.
I was telling George that he was originally the Joker in the Batman the Animated Series
Yep.
before Mark Hamill or before he got replaced with Mark Hamill. There is actual footage that's released of that, and no disrespect to Tim at all, but switching to Mark was the right choice there. Uh,
Mhm.
Tim's Joker was, I don't know if he just never got a chance to really get it there, but it was not the same menacing Joker. It was not even. It was very bizarre and not in a. watch it sometimes. Just let me know what you think about it.
Yeah, and actually, I've always heard about that, but I've never actually heard, like his voice recordings of that. So I would be curious because I mean, it's like, yeah, you can't think of like any animated or like the video game Jokers without thinking of Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then, of course, last but not least, the most recent one, the passing of Peter Cullen, which fortunately we heard he passed quietly in his sleep, sort of thing like that. But yeah, I mean, so many other voices he did throughout his career. I mean, hundreds of voices that he did for just different animated things, but best known as Optimus Prime.
Yeah, that one was the one that hurt them, that hurt the most. I mean, well, I say it sucks. It's like I mean, because it's like, yeah, it's like I mean, I posted something about it on Instagram, and it was like, I think I even said something like, he, for a lot of us, he was like a fatherly voice. Like for an alien robot to be a father figure to a bunch of kids, like, is very, very weird. And it's like a lot of us did get our morality from cartoon, like latchkey kids.
Oh yeah,
definitely got our moralities from Saturday morning cartoons, and Optimus Prime was a huge chunk of that.
Yeah, comic books and cartoons for me too, man. Like, yeah, I was like, that's where, yeah, you're 100%. That's where we got our morality from. And of course, Peter had talked before about like the origin of Optimus's voice, kind of like where he got it from. And he has an older brother, of course, is a Marine, and basically he just had that kind of voice to him, like that kind of strength, but also that heart as well. And so he would kind of basically took a page out of his brother's voice, because basically he would talk to him like, "Oh, this is the thing I got to do," and yada yada yada. And so, but yeah, it was kind of like his brother was very instrumental in the creation of that Optimus Prime voice. So
yeah,
so I think that's really cool. But oh man, we got lots of comments in here.
Oh,
okay. Mr. Martin's in the house. What's up, sir?
What up, Martin?
Good to see you. Hey, Corey, good to see you, sir. Good evening to you. Yeah. Oh, this is oh crap, not effed up history. Of course, yeah. Basically, Corey's definitely got Optimus on the mind as well. Yes, sir. With Dolly Parton here, did you know that her tattoos on her arms are flowers and butterflies? That's why she wore. Yeah. I've never seen the tattoos before. I've heard she had them. Yeah.
So like a tattoo sleeve, like.
I don't think it's a sleeve. I think it's just like she's got just some flowers and butterflies. She got them like early on or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's not so much that she wanted to. I can't remember what the reason was why she covers them up. But yeah, that's basically she covers them up for whatever reason. So
I mean, I'm gonna make a guess on that, because it's like, I mean, her being like a very southern focused lady, and a lot of men folk do not like the idea of a lady with tattoos.
Yeah, especially in the country music world.
Dolly would break their minds. A lot of people really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let's see. Martin says that you think you know that Elvis is dead, but you don't actually know that him and Kurt Cobain frequently meet up with JFK at the bar behind the pyramid in Teplacon, Mexico. Okay, so we're on the train already. I love it, brother. Let's see. Tim Curry and the Littlest Witch. Yeah, I mean, God. Of course, outside of Rocky Horror, which I've seen that movie hundreds of times because I went to so many shows at the Vogue back in the day, and then later on when Baxter Avenue had it, which, man, that's weird. Now there's no local theater to show Rocky Horror there's no midnight showings of anything like that. So it's just Baxter Avenue closed.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, though. I was never a Rocky Horror fan.
And basically, you know me. I love I don't like traditional musicals, but I love like the goofy shit. So it's like, the Return of Captain, Invincible, and, Phantom of the Paradise, and, stuff. And then, of course, Rocky Horror. So, yeah, I love that shit. Like the weird rock and roll musicals. Yeah, I love that stuff. But
fair. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so but God, man, of course, Clue. I loved him in Legend. Loaded
Scary Movie 2.
Scary Movie 2. Loaded Weapon #1.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I haven't seen Loaded Weapon in forever. I need to revisit that one again.
One of my favorite Tim Curry roles. Did you ever watch the TV show Psych? about the dude.
AJ's going to kill me about this one, but I've never seen a single episode of Psych, and that's one of his favorite TV shows.
Oh,
So I have not seen an episode of Psych. Sorry, AJ.
oh man, no, Psych is good TV. It's a very fun like procedural with a fun twist. Where do you know the premise of it?
Yeah, basically, because you got a guy that's a cop, and then there's a guy that's basically like he's not really a psychic, but he kind of masquerades as a psychic.
Well, he's not. Nobody's a cop. He's just a private detective. But he works with the police, and they think that he is psychic. Right. Or he fools them into making them believe that he's psychic. But he's also a wise ass that you just like. Yeah, he's just one of those like mouthy, lovable, sassy, quirky guys with like the sidekick and everything. Yeah, it's a great show.
I remember, because usually, Psych would follow Raw or SmackDown or whatever it was. There was some kind of wrestling right before, and then Psych would be after that. So I remember seeing promos, and of course, I think was Big Show and Edge both on the show, or
oh yeah, those believe it or not, that era of television is called the USA Blue Sky era, and because all the promos and all the shows took place in places with just bright blue skies.
Yeah,
so yeah, it was. And USA had the big partnership with the WWE, so they had wrestlers all over those shows. Burn Notice got wrestlers, Sight got wrestlers, Monk got wrestlers.
White Collar never did that, because the White Collar was the one I watched all the way through. I don't remember any wrestlers on White Collar.
Yeah, White Collar, that was the outlet. That was the one I didn't watch.
Yeah, dude, that was good. That was a good show.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, getting off topic. So Tim Curry was in an episode of Psych where they go to the National Spelling Bee, and he's one of the judges, Nigel St. Nigel, and it's yeah.
Oh, and I would also be remiss, another favorite Tim Curry role in a movie I haven't seen in a long time, The Shadow. With yeah, he's
I
one
had a dream that I tore off my face and I was someone else underneath. Sorry, that line always got me.
Yeah, how did you sleep?
Yeah.
Oh, V is in the house. Yes, sir.
What up, V?
Sir. What up, brother? Yes.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, and Corey's saying with the Dolly Parton tattoos. Yeah, they're just little tattoos. They're not a sleeve or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, can you see Dolly with the stomach rocker that says like Country Life or like Sun Tea or something like TEA, yeah.
Oh my God. V says, whenever I read Transformers Optimus parts, Colin's voice is in my head each and every time. Rest in peace.
Every time. It's like if you've got a character named Optimus Prime and Peter Cullen's voice is not coming out of it, then they ain't Optimus Prime. Mm-hmm. Like that's the thing. Like Beast Wars gets away with it because it's Optimus Primal. It's a different, it's a different character. Like, I can dig that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Optimus Convoy, we can get into a different thing there. But if it's Optimus Prime, you better sound like Peter fucking Cullen.
Yep. 100%. And then Martin says that he has 58 tattoos and his wife has none. So there you go. See, I have 0 tattoos and my wife has 3 or 4, I think now. She's had a couple of new ones recently, so I think she's up to 4 now.
I have 1 tattoo. It is a butt piece actually, and it's the Three Stooges peeking over in my butt crack. And I'm just kidding. I don't have that tattoo.
That would be, I know, but that would be so awesome. Yeah. I think about to say you have a tattoo. It's like it's a butt of a butt on a butt shaped tattoo.
That would be a good tattoo, just like in butt inception. Mm-hmm. A butt on a butt on a butt.
Yeah, thank you, Beavis and Butthead. So
yes.
Corey says that you did Rocky Horror, the Hardin County Playhouse years ago. That's awesome. Yeah, I've never been in Rocky Horror, but I've attended many viewings with live audiences and live players and stuff like that. So
I was in The Sound of Music, but I hate Rocky Horror. Figure that one
out. Also, Home Alone 2 with Tim Curry. Yep, dude, that's the thing. Like somebody made posted a meme that Home Alone 2 is going to hit really differently this year because of the loss of Catherine O'Hara, basically the loss of Tim Curry, and the loss of the lady who had all the pigeons and stuff like that in the park.
Oh yeah.
All dead.
Give me just a second. There's something that just crashed downstairs, so I'll be right back.
No.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got to do some investigating. BRB.
Oh, meatball, what did you do? Let's see here. Martin says if Rocky Horror Picture Show is shown in Germany every 31st of October, this is all generations, all size LARP event and cinemas all over. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Yeah, I see. Growing up in the Southern Indiana, Louisville area, definitely we had like there's a theater in from God, I can't remember how old it was, but it was an old theater, very old when it was, in the 90s going to Rocky Horror and like heavy metal and Monty Python, the Holy Grail, stuff like that. Some of those like classic midnight movies. Saw a lot of those in theaters. And the Vogue was like just a classic giant house, one single screen, but like the seats like went on forever. Oh, I was talking about the Vogue. So what happened?
So you remember that giant like beef bison shin bone thing that I have?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Meatball and Moxley are playing with that downstairs. So yeah, Meatball's got like the little end and he's like dragging it and Moxley's just staring at him with his tail wagging and they both look at me like, what? Like, all right. Carry on, boys.
Carry on. Good. All right. Oh man, I love those boys.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I said, I was talking about the Vogue and how that was laid out and everything. But it's like just this giant movie house, but the screen was huge. Like I said, but like the seating, like it kind of like started sloping down, right? But it's I can't remember how many the place held, but it just seemed like it just went on forever. So
yeah, it was definitely old movie housey, and you could smoke in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could still smoke in there. Yeah. Yeah, of course, like the midnight shows. Sometimes things got rowdy, and people were like smoking other things than tobacco. People were bringing,
lettuce.
The old devil lettuce there. Yeah, people were bringing alcohol and stuff like that. So it's, especially like I'd say I remember the last time I saw heavy metal and they're on a midnight show. I got a contact high, and I didn't even have any weed on me.
That would have been a killer place to see heavy metal. I wish I would have got to do that.
Yeah, that was cool. But that's awesome that you guys that Germany still has that as well. So, hey, White Sox is in the house.
What up, White Sox?
It's been an interesting day, but yeah, I was like, it's been a good day though. That's for sure.
We is here.
Yeah, and I got a free Slurpee at Speedway today. Basically I was about ready to purchase it, and like, put my points in, and put my number in for my points thing, and like, actually, you get a free Slurpee. It's like, well, shit, yeah. So,
well, damn,
got a free Slurpee today, yeah. Oh, and also, I didn't know this with door dashing, but I'm basically doing door dashing stuff now, and I'll explain more here in just a bit when we get through the comments and whatnot. But I'm doing some door dashing on the side, and Chick-fil-A, when you're waiting on your order, they offer you a free beverage.
Oh,
yeah,
that's nice of them.
They're the only place that does it, but every Chick-fil-A I go to, which by the way, E-Town loves them some fucking Chick-fil-A. That is literally the number one place I go to when I'm dashing. It's like Chick-fil-A beats McDonald's. Starbucks is maybe third. Sonic is fourth. But yeah, Chick-fil-A numero uno in E-Town for DoorDash.
If I'm going to DoorDash food, like number one, I'm never DoorDashing McDonald's ever, just because it's like you can't well, maybe if it's breakfast at like 6 a.m. or something like that's like because it's a breakfast. Even McDonald's breakfast cold is still pretty good. But like, yeah, I'm not playing the Russian roulette of DoorDash and McDonald's because you could go into the lobby of McDonald's and get cold soggy food. I don't know how they do that, but you can. But yeah,
well, fortunately, my McDonald's here down the road is a good one, and I use the app, so I get like a lot of like free food or discount food and stuff like that, and I can basically get to it within 3 minutes. So
I don't blame you. If there was a McDonald's within that proximity to me, then yeah, I would absolutely be doing the same thing.
Yeah, so there you go. Sarah's in the house. Good to see you. Happy
What up,
Friday
Sarah?
to you here. Thank you. Good to see you. Chris is in the house. What? Martin says, I have a fungus tattooed right under my big toe. That's no joke, unfortunately.
Okay.
All right, yeah. Yeah, I said free Slurpee. Dang, favorites on the Lord. Yep. I don't know. I don't know if it was like a free Slurpee day or I just bought up, had some points and yeah. So, but and by the way, my Slurpee of choice at Speedway because they have like the official Slurpee. Like I guess they bought 7-Eleven, so now Speedway has like 7-Eleven stuff all over the place.
Huh.
Yeah, it's news to me. I don't know. But anywho, the Coke original taste. So they literally like in a Slurpee form, it's OG Coke. Like not even like. Because they had like, the classic, the old Coke, and then we had new Coke, and then they brought back Coke Classic, but Coke Classic was kind of like old Coke, but wasn't quite the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is apparently like OG formula in Slurpee form here, and it's the bomb. So, yeah.
See,
yeah.
I have been so far out of the Coke game, like the regular Coke game, between drinking Diet Coke and Coke Zero, that I can I would never tell the difference between. Like you could put like 4 different versions of regular Coke in front of me, and like the difference between like classic or like the throwback or whatever, I would never tell you the difference of which one's which. Could not do it.
Yeah, see, I love me some Mexican Coke as well, or kosher Coke, whichever one. Basically, it's Coke made with just pure sugar cane and not anything processed sugar. So, yeah. So basically, it was just we have a very high Latino population of the area. Getting Mexican Coke is very easy. So,
what was that one that we were? There was one place that we were going that they had a Mexican soda of some kind that meaning that they switched the sugar, but the soda never had sugar in the first place.
Oh,
where was that? I can't remember.
It was a Mexican restaurant. Was it Leonardo's that we went to?
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it had to have been, because that's like one of the only Mexican places I've been to recently.
Yeah, but God, I remember you were talking about that because it was like Mexican Coke Zero or something like that. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like.
I think that's what it was. Actually, it was like Mexican Coke Zero.
Yeah, it's like how does that work? Because it's synthetic sugar, so it's not really sugar,
right?
So it's like
maybe that's just like where they put more sugar in it. It is just like it's just Mexican Coke. They just put the sugar back into it, and the zero don't mean shit. Yeah, it's like that Penta thing. Yeah.
Just you love it. Oh, well, one thing I did want to talk about, you referred to a little bit earlier here, that last show I kind of referred to some stuff going on, but to make it official, I am no longer with Clobbering Comics. Not to get too deep into any of the tea or anything like that, but basically I had a disagreement with the owner, and the disagreement resulted in me being let go. So there you are. But every door that closes, there's always a window that's open. And so from the ashes comes Utopia Comics. Yep. The logo here was designed by my lovely wife. And can you believe this is the second pass?
Just the second one?
That's the second pass. Yeah, basically she did one pass, and I had literally one note for her. I was like, just enhance the city behind the face there, because you can see the face really well, but kind of make the city give it a little bit of pop. And this is the second pass. Holy shit.
Yeah, damn.
I know, right? So currently I am on Whatnot under Utopia Comics. So I've got shows right now booked for Tuesday and Wednesday, but I've had shows. I started this week. So, and it's been great because a lot of my friends that I made on Whatnot have followed me. So, so for a new business starting up, I had a nice customer base. So I'm extremely grateful for that. And a lot of support that I've got from you, from Michelle, from our Discord friends, and everything like that. So it's like, I couldn't have done it without you guys, but.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Dude, you're my comic hookup. I have to help keep you afloat if I want to keep getting comics, right?
There you go.
I mean, the whole name of the game is getting you back into monthly, so that it's I ain't got to worry about or pay full price.
Exactly.
My son. Mm-hmm. We got to get you back on the stick. That's why. Yeah.
Well, I got some things to set up and do for legal stuff before I'm actually able to get access. I mean, I can go like to shops and buy new comics for people if they need stuff, but at this point, I'm selling my own stuff, and then I'm gonna start probably getting some folks who have offered donations. Of back issues and stuff like that I can sell. So obviously I'll incorporate that as well. So it's like there's I'm getting a lot of support and a lot of help, and I'm humbled by it, and I'm very appreciative of it as well. So yeah.
Well,
So
yeah, yeah. If there's anybody that I would ever like, part of the reason why the comic hobby is fun to me is because of you, and it's like I know that there's a lot of people in the Discord that probably feel the same way. And yeah, it's I mean, like not to toot my like what you've been selling out of your own collection has been
mhm.
like some excellent fucking stuff. Like I was super excited. Like the fact, like I really went in hard with the facsimiles.
Yeah.
Like yeah, because you were dropping like the Days of Future Past facsimile. That was the one that got me at first. I was like, well, shit. And then you had a bunch of black costume spiders. So now then I started researching like because okay, this is gonna sound weird to me, like weird, but like I really enjoy the idea of like reading the actual comic book, like with the whole ads and like all that stuff. And the reprints are great, right? I love having the story,
But you
but
want the full reprint.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want the full thing and the whole idea just to have like I've got a stack. Like here's the Dark Phoenix saga, like all like
Mhm.
9 issues of whatever it is, and it's like I don't have to worry about like if a corner gets dinged up or something, or it's like I can read it on the can and like maybe it falls on the floor or something like that, and it's like I don't have to worry about that shit because it's like I can still have my fun reading experience that way with these classic issues without having to like have them in like a giant book format because
Yeah.
let's be real too. Sometimes these omnibus stuff, like it gets fucking heavy. Trade paperbacks aren't always comfortable either. You know?
Sure, yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
look at it. Yeah, like what was like 100, like 20 or 25 issues omnibus, so like that. Yeah, that's you can do like
Yeah.
whole arm day on that one.
I've got Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol in omnibus format. And
Oh,
I've got like 10 issues into that, and I'm like, I'm never reading this. Like I'm gonna have to read it like in another way. Just because it yeah, it's like I'm walking around like I've got like the fucking tome of some horse shit. Like yeah.
I tell you what will blow your mind though. There are omnibuses that certain indie like Dark Horse does this a lot, and like DC did like a whole Silver Age Justice League, or yeah, I think it was Justice League omnibus, but it was in newsprint paper, not like the
Yeah.
traditional paper. It is so much lighter. I mean, it's crazy. Like you get like the same number of issues in there, but like it's so much lighter because it's newsprint paper.
Yeah. The GI Joe compendiums that Images Skybound are putting out, they're the same way.
Yep.
They're on that newsprint, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when I got volume 1, I just fucking fell in love with it just because it was so easy to hold. Like I love the
Mm-hmm.
paper. Like
Yep.
yeah, the uncoated stock that they were using, it was yeah, and it's like that was fucking brilliant because it's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm I realize too that it's like, yeah, we want everything to be as vibrant and poppy as it always was, like color wise too, right? But there's also something to be said about like the medium that you're looking at it in, like
Mm-hmm.
because it's like that high gloss like sheen paper that's in omnibus like or omnibuy and trade paperbacks and everything. It's not always reflective of what it was originally done in the first place, right? Like
Yep.
people are just it's the same way with movies too. It's like it all depends on how you originally look at shit. But yeah, anyway, I digress. But, yeah.
And V says, yeah, yeah. Also, I'm his comic book hookup as well. So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Oh man. So, hang on. And Martin says, can you share the link so I can share it with my gringo friends? What not to sell to the Mexicans? So you can also go ahead and say, well, damn it. I would love to be able to. Well, I mean, I don't. There's a lot of like international stuff that you can kind of choose to do or not to do, but also there's a lot of folks who are international buyers that have like some kind of like way station in the states you can send all your mail to, and then they will ship it internationally from there. I don't know. So
Yeah, it's I was actually thinking about how like because I've done shipping and logistics for like 20 years in various capacities, and like
yeah.
I was just thinking about like I was good meaning to ask you how you handled international or if you handled it at all because like I know that there's depending on how you ship stuff, like certain things can be excluded from having to deal with custom stuff, but like
Mhm.
comics might be in a wishy-washy area. because I've never shipped any comics overseas. Like I try and avoid shipping overseas if I can absolutely help it. Like just not like just
yeah,
because of the cost and customs
yeah.
up there and shit.
When I was doing whatnot for Clobbering, there were a handful of internet, mostly the international customers I dealt with. There was a couple of Canadian folks I dealt with, but then the other international customers were basically soldiers who were overseas. So the overseas soldiers wasn't that big of a deal. Like there was some kind of break with the international shipping, but you still were shipping internationally.
Yeah. It was
Uh,
something like I think technically like it was considered American soil at the time, so it wasn't like I know there's some kind of stipulation because we send stuff to like military facilities all the time and shit. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So anyway, but yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's some kind of thing about it.
Welcome
Anyway.
to the shipping portion of the Fanatic Forum, where we talk shipping rates internationally. Yeah. Tune in when we start to get into hour 4 of Customs Pack Declaration 6R and the do's and don'ts on how to fill that out for expedited shipping.
Lord, we just lost all of our viewers. Hey, let's talk comics here. Since we were talking about our comic hookups and everything like that, let's talk some comics here. Do I have any? No, this is all indies for the last 2 weeks. My books to talk about, 100% indies. So no Marvel or DC.
So no Batmans at all. Damn.
No Batmans at all. No, but somebody who did some work on Batman, and I love his art. A book I definitely had to talk about here. The Last Driver from Sean Murphy, who brought us the Batman White Knight universe. Yeah, so this is basically in a world where there's like more and more automation, more AI, and everybody's kind of just riding in little robot cars, whatever else. You got this guy that's kind of like a little bit of like a bandit sort of thing like that, but still doing the good thing, and he's still driving a muscle car, and it is badass because while I'm holding it this way, that basically it's sold this way, you actually read the book this way. So the art is panoramic. It's fucking awesome. So if you're like an old school muscle car junkie and car chases and stuff like that and good characterization, right there. Yep.
Okay, I do like that cover too, and I loved White Knight. I've been meaning to read the sequel series to those too, but
the second one was still good, but after the second one, it kind of falls off a little bit. And then I think there was the one more, and then you had the Generation Joker. And I don't think we've had one since then. But yeah, I was like, I think we went too far to the well. I think so.
Fair.
So there you go. Oh, V says no Batman. I'm speechless. I mean, I've purchased Batman books the last couple of weeks, but nothing I really wanted to talk about.
V, I'm kind of thinking that since we started playing How Many Batmans, that he's just given up on like he's intentionally not including Batman comics.
Not at all. Not at all.
I don't know. We're gonna have to keep it monitored. We're gonna have to monitor this trend.
I mean, right now there's only 2 Batman books I'm getting right now, just regular Batman and Absolute Batman. And Absolute Batman has been, good, but it's, they're building to something. I got a feeling something very cool is about to happen. So we may be talking about that here in a week or so. We'll see. And then regular Batman just started the Bad Seed storyline, which is basically Poison Ivy, who is now mayor of Gotham City, is warring with Vandal Savage, who is the chief of police for Gotham, and basically she kind of let nature did some kind of deal with the Parliament of Trees, and so basically nature took back Gotham City overnight. So there's kind of weird plant shit going on, and so basically Batman and the Bat Family are on the case, and they got a lot of work to do.
Okay, I was really hoping that you were going to say it was when Batman teamed up with the Bad Seeds to record Tender Prey, but yeah. That's a deep cut Nick Cave joke for all you indie music dorks.
I was going to say I'm a more of a Murder Ballads guy myself. So
that's a classic one, yeah. Yeah, actually, you know what my favorite Nick Cave album was fucking Henry's Dream.
Oh,
like
that's
weirdly
a good one,
enough, yeah, just because it was like that like American Gothic Southern horror almost vibe to it, yeah.
Yeah, that is a good one here.
Anyway.
Let's see. Yeah, see. That's why I love our tangents. We just go off the rails real
Yeah.
quick here. Let's see. Martin says, "I'm gonna try to send some German comics to you guys, and they didn't pass. They were all the 1940s and Stormtrooper. Oh, that sucks.
Huh.
You send them some of the stuff and they get through. That sucks, man.
I mean, I can kind of say like, yeah.
I am
Yep.
not purposely. Oh yeah, it's a Batman counter-activated George. We're watching you. No, I'm just saying. I'm
Yeah.
not really. Well, there was like 40 for a while. There was like 47 Batman, little mini series and maxi series and stuff like that. So I was talking a
There
lot
are
about Batman
always
stuff.
47 Batman miniseries. Batman's the most lucrative DC character, so they're gonna put him in everything.
Yeah. Now, on the other hand, though, there probably will be one particular Batman book. Well, Batman's not the main character in it, but he is in the book, and I will probably be talking about that one. It comes out this week, so I'll just tease it there. But yeah, there's a specific one-shot special that's coming out that does involve Batman and Superman, and also somebody else, somebody a little weird.
Interesting. I wonder if I can go on the Discord and use this bot, this handy bot that tells
Pulley?
you Pulley. Yes.
Oh, the great pulley. The great invention by our friend V here. Yes,
It
pulley
is,
has been. We,
it
we
is
love
actually
pulley.
really fucking cool.
It's
Because
awesome. And
yeah,
pulley's has
because
updates too.
he has got Pulley to where it can do some very cool magical shit, pulling like the what issues coming out on week by publisher, and yeah, with the price, which is where I've learned that I'm paying retail now for my fucking comics, and yeah,
Yeah, me too. I
Savage
know.
Sword Reforged is $15 fucking.
I know. I don't know why it's so much more. It's the reprints in color, but I don't know why it's so much more expensive
Well,
than regular Savage Sword.
that one was 80 pages too, because the Reforged has been fluctuating in page sizes, and it's also been fluctuating in cover price. I did a deep dive with the issues that I have just to see, because I was actually very concerned about this, like how they can make the monthly Savage or the bi-monthly Black and White Savage Sword like $6.99 for 80 pages every month, but yeah, it's black and white. But that recoloring process must be like, it must be I don't know, like very expensive, because even if you buy the trades of the Reforged stuff now, it's like $17, which is much less than what you would get buying the issues individually. But
crazy.
yeah.
Oh, he says he's doing an update now, removing the price just for you, Seth. So
No, please don't. Please don't. Oh, oh man, if I can see him just having a way to set it up to where it only shows me wrong prices. So then I start to feel better. I'm like, back to the good old days when the comic books are 75 cents.
Yeah. But of course, everyone's favorite feature on the Discord for Pulley is that Pulley talks trash about DC conversions. And and Pulley has many responses, and it's literally like the favorite thing. I'm like, and I had a conversation with V about this, and he was always like, man, it's like people kind of do that a lot. It's like use it for the other thing. It's like, look, it's like the Beach Boys were responsible for the audio heroine that is Pet Sounds. It's a brilliant masterpiece of a record. But their biggest hit, the one they made all the money on, is the piece of shit that is Kokomo.
Yeah.
So it's like, sorry, but Convergence is your Kokomo.
Damn. Yeah, that's really like, because it's Convergence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Convergence was shit.
It's not even like, it's like, it's not even 0 Hour.
No, I mean, 0 Hour, that's actually kind of like aged better. Like people are kind of like asking when people were asking for 0 Hour stuff from time to time. So. And also, Zero Hour got an anniversary one shot. The C Word has not.
Oh, wow! No, 0 Hour was like 0 Hour was the first was the first Crisis crossover that I was cognitive in comics for, that I was actively picking up as it came out. So I have a sweet spot for it. But going back to it, it's fucking awful.
Yeah, it was one of those ones. That's, yeah,
yeah.
it was. Yeah.
I have a
It was
weird nostalgic period for that, like, bombastic DC period that brought us Bloodlines, which I still have a bizarre fondness for, even though Hitman was the only thing that came out of that.
yes, that's the
And
best thing that came out of Bloodlines. Yes,
yeah,
so there you go.
and what was the next? They had some kind. The next year, they had some kind of weird annual crossover, but I forgot
Well,
what it was.
well, let's see. There was because you had there was the Elseworlds ones, there was the Pulp ones. I can't remember what the timeline was on those releases. If there was that was before or after the Bloodlines.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, no, there was always kind of some different like little.
Emperor Joker, was that it?
It may have been Emperor
Was
Joker.
that an annual crossover? I know that was a universe wide one, but I don't know if it was the annual crossover or not.
It may have been. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. So.
Anyway, I'm derailing us. I apologize.
Oh no, bro. Oh yeah, and Sarah says, "Don't say the c word." Yes, that is how we refer to it on the Discord is as the c word. So
The C word.
And then V says nothing happened after that event. We were promised a lot. We lost
We
paper
lost
in between.
paper in between.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Corey says, "I know what Batman you're talking about. I have an order for me and the kid. Oh, I have an order for you, and the kids. Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Batman you're teasing?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. And basically it's a kind of a world's finest one shot, but it's weird's finest, perhaps.
Am I gonna want one of these?
It's Weird Al, and he's kind of the saving the DC universe, and I think Mr. Mxyzptlk is involved as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna want one of these.
Yeah, because you only have 2 books this week. You've got Conan and Dragon Arrow, and then there's a one shot with Supernatural called Wayward, because apparently something happens in issue 10, which I have in your stack over here, and then this is a one shot that kind of spins off of that, and then apparently there's a bit of a spin off that will happen from Wayward. So
Okay.
you will see details when you read the book. So
Yeah. I thought Conan was this week.
yeah, Conan and Dragon Arrow. Yeah. You got regular Conan. Yeah, you got regular Conan this week. Next week is Conan and Dragon Arrow.
Oh, okay. I got you. Sorry. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was
Corey
confused.
Corey knows what I'm talking about. Says yes, he's got variants of them all.
Yeah, give me
I'm gonna just get an A cover. I'm an A cover man. Anyway, back to the new books here. Definitely one that's in your stack, and you're gonna love this one here. Bug Wars: The Coming of the War Doom #1. Our next volume of Bug Wars here, and we have some new friends that basically get into the yard here. Big Brother gets involved, and then we also have some neighbors as well that get things going on. But yes, beware the squirrels. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love Bug Wars, and I love that I got White Sox reading them in fucking Southern accents and shit.
Yeah. And that's a brilliant take on it. I was like, because the whole book takes place in Alabama. So it's like, read the book with everybody having Southern accents. Like, that's
it makes the bugs in their like proper high speech sound so like it adds a flavor to it that I don't know that I would have. I wouldn't have thought of this when I was a kid. Let me put it that way. I would have loved the series, but I would not have added that little touch growing up. Yeah.
And don't worry, Corey. I didn't spoil anything. The cover kind of gives you the tease there. So yeah, that's the cover there. So there you go. So yeah, didn't spoil anything there for you. So next up here, and of course you're gonna love this one here too. G.I. Joe #25. This is the beginning of the G.I. Joe versus Night Force storyline. And also, this is a wraparound cover, too, because the other side of the cover is Night Force, which basically is Flint and Lady J's team. That basically, they're kind of the team. They're supposed to kind of keep an eye on Duke. And the interesting thing about Night Force is that they're not all concerned with the whole Cobra and the Autobots and Decepticons kind of bullshit. They're basically taking care of other things, other little errands, but they're also been training a lot. So they're a much better and tighter unit of fighters than basically Duke's team, because Duke's team sometimes splits off into solo missions. So there's some people that work well with each other, but not everybody is a combined unit. But yeah, so in Night Force, you've got Flint, Lady J, Roadblock, Beachhead, and then the new member Shooter, and she's of course a sniper, hence the name Shooter. So, but yes, all bunch of badasses here. And then of course on Duke's team, we've got Stalker, the Baroness, Cover Girl, the new guy Risk, and then Clutch kind of stuck in the middle here with Hound. So, who's basically also.
Did you ever notice that Risk is missing one of his fingers?
I did not notice that.
Yeah, go back in all the art. Like Risk is missing a finger.
Interesting.
And yeah, it's a character thing that it's like somebody pointed it out on Reddit, and it was like, well, I'll be damned. Yeah,
that is cool. But yeah, I love that guy. Really good dude.
I cannot wait for the classified because it's fucking coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean we're getting the rugged Duke, which is basically Energon Universe Duke already, so it's on the way. But yeah, a lot of stuff happens in this book here. Basically, of course, I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't caught up on G.I. Joe Energon, but yeah, a lot of stuff happened in this book here. But basically, let's just say Colonel Hawk accuses Baroness of going rogue and working for Cobra, but that may not necessarily be the case. So she's trying to get out of Dodge. Duke basically doesn't believe it and wants to hear it from her first, if he's going to actually buy this story, but he doesn't trust what's going on here. So a lot of stuff going on here. And then of course, we got, Night Force is getting involved. So that's going to be, I think we get a nice tease of that. That's awesome. On the Cobra side of things, we are possibly getting a new Cobra agent that is basically able to work with the dire energy that Cobra, the crystal ball, has been able to do. So maybe someone else able to work with this stuff here. And there's some interesting theories about who this character might actually be and who she might actually, another character she might lead us to. That has been long overdue in the Energon universe. So we'll talk off camera when we see each other on Sunday.
Okay, yeah, because I have not. So my library has not been able to keep funding going on for Hoopla, so I have not been able to keep up with the Energon stuff, unfortunately. Okay. So yeah, I unless I go sail the high seas, so to speak. So I'm trying to I'm trying to trade search, and but it's like trying to remember where I left off, like in the books versus So but
I dig that. Yeah, I dig that. So Corey says he's really getting into Mask. Yes, I agree. The Mask book is awesome. Really big fan of that one as well. And we're getting to issue 4 this week, but issue 3 possibly has introduced another new player into the Energon universe.
Now, how did they fit in the Eric Stoltz and Cher characters from
Not that Mask.
The movie?
Not that Mask.
Oh, okay. Oh wait, no, this is the Jim Carrey, the green mask.
No. These are the people with the helmets and the cars, and it's the Firebird that turns into like a flying car.
Oh, okay.
The motorcycle turns into a helicopter kind of shit. Yeah, that mask. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that the spirit of Loki was just going to show up to wreak mayhem in the Energon universe, but
you
Sera.
All right, and then one more from last week to talk about here. Issue number 19 of Redcoat, which I've really enjoyed all the Ghost Machine titles they put out here. There's a few different connected universes in here. So this particular character was a British soldier during the Revolutionary War who, through a lot of trials and tribulations, becomes immortal. And so, but he's not like Highlander kind of stuff, like you can cut his head off. Like he's immortal. There's like one particular weapon that could take away that immortality, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, he's pretty immortal. So there's some interesting, basically, he's been essentially friends with Albert Einstein since Albert Einstein was a teenager, and so Albert Einstein keeps popping in and out of the book from time to time. So, but anyway, we're getting closer. Like we're basically now in the early 20th century with basically, Simon Pure, who's the characters, has basically been living in New York. He has a family now, so we kind of jumped ahead a little bit here. So, but something extremely tragic kind of sees with the cover there. happens in this book, and it's some heavy shit.
He gets his wiener bit off.
He does not get his wiener bit off. No,
Oh, that's the face
nothing.
I'd be making if I got my wiener bit off.
Well, there's other stuff that happens. Basically, we're leading to a larger storyline here, and a villain setup that's kind of like we thought the guy was turning baby face on us, but he was really setting us up for like the ultimate heel turn, even though he was already a heel.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, oh man, just like I said, really enjoyed this, and like Geiger. And there's been a few other books that are on the way. They're kind of all this kind of like weird character connected universes that all live in different time periods. Like Geiger takes place like in a post-apocalyptic America, and this guy's like basically he's called the nuclear man because he got irradiated by a gamma bomb, and so when he doesn't have his control rods on him that basically kind of tamper down, he's like goes like super Johnny Storm nuclear. He's got like super strength and whatnot. So it's a really really cool book. But yeah, so there's some. Yeah, the whole Ghost Machine, and of course, you know, like Hyde Street's a part of that stuff as well. There's the family-oriented stuff like the Rockefellers and the Trillionaire Kid, and whatever. So there's all kinds of other little pocket universes here and there, and Hyde Street's more of like the spooky stuff. But yeah, but still, there's some very cool stuff there. Anyway, this week's picks here, again, all indies as well here, and I basically a lot of Image love this week. All three books are Image titles too, and yeah. Anyway. Issue number 3 of Universal Monsters Blood of the Wolfman. Dude, this has been such a fun sequel series where basically you got someone who possibly is like maybe the great grandson of Larry Talbot. So he's basically has a long line of werewolf in the blood and sort of thing like that in the family. And this is such a cool issue. This is kind of like the scene where basically like all bets are off, all full tilt boogie, werewolf massacre sort of stuff, because like they've been teasing little things like had happened previously, but we don't get to see it. This issue, you get to see it. So good. I love me my zombie movies, but I also love me my werewolf movies. Those are my two kind of favorite monsters, and
yeah,
so I love me a good werewolf thing. And this has been
I do love me some werewolf stuff. Dog Soldiers Forever.
Amen to that. Also, big fan of Bad Moon as well. Not a great movie, but a cool premise. You ever seen that one?
I have not actually.
Michael Pare is in it from like Eddie the Cruiser stuff like that. But the lead character is a dog named Thor. He's a German Shepherd. Yeah, because the book is called Thor. That the movie's based on, but yeah, basically our lead. It's not quite like from his point of view sort of thing, but the hero of the movie is this dog Thor.
Okay.
Yeah, because we get basically a mother and son are living kind of nice little single mom life, but we've got a brother who maybe has got himself into some trouble. He shows up on sister's door to hang out, but there's something wrong with uncle, and the dog knows what's up. And basically, dog's like, "Fucking try, let's go." Right. So yeah, it's a fun movie. It came out in like the mid '90s, I think. So like 92, 93, maybe something like that. So it was a straight to video, but it's actually it's worth checking out. One book you definitely got. You're gonna fucking love this one here. Nice. Hammer Fist #1 here. The superstar team of Rick Remender and art by Steve fucking Epting. We know Steve, of course, from Preacher and many other books. Of course, some Punisher in the 2000s. But this is a story of basically kind of a guy who's a very down on his luck, sort of hitman, ne'er-do-well dude who basically tries to, support his family that basically also want nothing to do with him. Maybe he's got a bit of a crack addiction as well, but he takes a job that he feels is bad from the whole get-go. But he takes it anyway because they promise him a whole lot of money. And what the job actually is getting this Hellboy-looking gauntlet for whatever reason. And there's apparently a solar eclipse that's happening, and maybe possession of this gauntlet and a ceremony might do some shit. I don't know. It's anyway, very noirish, kind of a little bit of supernatural stuff thrown in. Great art, great characters. Yeah.
I admit, that was like, as soon as I saw that cover, I was like, yeah, I want to read that book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course you told me you want like the Dan Panosian cover, which kind of like the red background. It's got a
Oh
good
yeah,
pose.
yeah.
So that's the one I got for you. So yeah,
Sweet,
so
thank you. Yeah.
you're welcome. And then this one was a bit of kind of a re-release here, but when Mask #1 came out, there were of course lots of variant covers and die cut and all kinds of jazz. But also the popular thing in comics right now are blind bag covers, which basically if you don't know what blind bags are, if you got little kids and they love those blind bag toys, where like kind of what the genre is supposed to be, but you don't know exactly what it is you got. Comics have now followed suit with that, where basically it's sealed in a bag, and so what you get sometimes are there are like common variant covers, there's some rare stuff, and then of course there's sometimes some special things are thrown in. So lately, when Image has been doing blind bag stuff, sometimes they throw in advance issues, so like you can already read the second issue of the book. So, but then you have to go buy another copy so you can read the first issue. But anyway,
I never thought of that. That would be a weird, awkward problem.
Well, that happened to me with Battle Beast #1, because I was like, well, it was early in the blind bag stuff, and now it's kind of almost kind of a little bit played out. But every now and then there's some cool things. But anyway, so I got a blind bag for Battle Beast #1. Open it up, it's issue 2. I'm like, that's fucking cool. It's the second issue already, a month early. I guess I got to buy a second copy so I can actually read #1, but it's not in the blind bag, just a regular. So anyway, yeah. So, but when Mask #1 came out, Kirkman kind of threw a couple of fastballs on us. One was Mask Origins, which was also released this week. Mask Origins basically compiles every appearance that Matt Tracker and Miles Mayhem, the two lead characters, the good guy, the bad guy in Mask, every appearance they made prior to Mask #1. The other thing they threw in, and this was another wrench in the works and a new intro into the Energon universe, ROM Space Knight #1. Mm-hmm. Long requested to be a part of the Energon universe by fans of said universe, and finally we got our wish. So this was in one of the blind bags. It is a original comic. It's not a reprint or anything like that. So they say so there you go. Completely brand new stuff here. The team of Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo De Felici, they also do Void Rivals. So basically, starting with this week's issue number 33 of Void Rivals, ROM is now officially a cast member.
So if you got the blind bag, you could have got those issues already, but they released currently.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, if you didn't give in the blind bags, then they released them separately, and so there you go. So
okay, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing they do with like the Energon Universe one shots. Like they release them on Free Comic Book Day, and so if you can get them on Free Comic Book Day, cool. But if you don't, the following week they make you pay $4 for it. So and they'll put new covers on it. You can get variant covers and 1 in 25s and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, it's literally the same book that's released on Free Comic Book Day the week before.
Right.
So DC does the same thing, but they have the decency to wait a few months before they compile everything into a one shot. And here's all the stuff from Free Comic Book Day that we released. Marvel does the same thing with the Marvel Zero books, but they wait 6 months after Free Comic Book Day. Yeah, but Image literally the following Wednesday after Free Comic Book Day, so literally like 4 days removed from Free Comic Book Day, like, hey, if you didn't get that book, here's this, $4, please.
Yeah, and I have not missed an Energon Universe special. Thank you very much, by the way.
You are most welcome. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. The first year they did that, I'm like, oh, you bitches. And so I've basically warned people ever since, like, if you get it on Free Comic Book Day, don't buy it next week. It's the same. Unless you're a cover enthusiast and you want all the covers, don't. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, go back to Redcoat here. Martin says he gets his wiener and his freedom bells bitten off. No, he doesn't get his. Nothing happens to Redcoat's genitalia.
No, because that was the face. He was like, my wiener. Oh. That was the cover. Wiener.
Oh, Janine Brooks for Hanukkah. Good to see you too,
dear. Up?
Yes, and just to let you know, I am under a new banner on my own, Utopia Comics. I'm on Whatnot again, so come and see us. I got shows starting on. I've already had shows this week, but there we go. But anyway, I've already had shows this week, but I'll have shows for next week as well. So yeah. So, oh, and one more comment before we move on to the topic du jour here. V says that I just want to say that he is now a fan of G.I. Joe and the whole Energon universe because of you, all you gents. Yeah, you're very welcome. Having an outstanding time. Dude, I'm telling you what, it is so fun. Like, Void Rivals, I kind of see as the lesser of the four. Now, apparently, I kind of dipped out of that one. But I'm all in still on Joe Transformers, and I'm enjoying Mask 3 issues in. But yeah, Void Rebels kind of the ones like, it's kind of, so I dipped out of it, but I'm thinking about getting back into it now with the introduction of Rom. So there you go.
Fair.
But G.I. Joe and Transformers tied for number one. Those are just,
this is the one, like, this is the one that I keep trying to tell people. It's like, if you're a fan of either one, like, because some people get really kind of persnickety. They don't want their space robots crossing over with their action men. And I mean, I'm like, if it makes sense, like they're making it in the Energon universe, this to me is like, so when IDW did that Turtles run, that first 100 issues, like where it was just like everything great about every other iteration of Turtles was like distilled into this comic book series. That is what the Energon universe feels like to me with like the Hasbro stuff. Because I love the fact that fucking Hound is a fucking Joe. You know, a Transformer is a G.I. Joe.
He's the Army Jeep, so like, why wouldn't he? Yeah, but yeah, he's now an honorary G.I. Joe now. But that's the thing is like, since basically the '80s Marvel stuff, they've crossed over Joe and Transformers. Whoever has the license for both those products always does a crossover, whether it's them, whether it's Image, whether it's IDW, whether it's Dreamwave. You know, crossover. But to me, this is probably the best iteration of that storytelling. I think.
I can. As far, so like I do have a soft spot for some of the IDW Joe stuff.
I do too.
Yeah, like especially like the what was is it Declassified? That was the Chuckles run.
Oh yeah, no, it was Cobra. It was
Cobra. Oh yeah, where Chuckles goes undercover as a Cobra agent, and then
2 volumes of glory, man.
Yeah. Oh man, that thing was
so good.
It was so fucking dark too.
It was very dark. Yeah, but so good.
Yeah, but like, just to let y'all know how fucking deep it got, and this is kind of a spoiler for a big plot point, but not the biggest bit of all. Though, is like he and Chuckles and Jinx have an affair going on, like they're like partners, right? But like at one point, like Chuckles has to kill Jinx, and it's like, and he does. And that's like how far deep he is willing to go to do. Yeah, and then it becomes a whole different revenge type. Yeah, it was. Like I had heard that might have been the basis for the new G.I. Joe movie at some point. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case, but yeah.
Basically, from everything that's been talked about right now, the Joe movie that's kind of moving forward is the one Danny McBride is working on.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so this would have been a few iterations back, probably after that. Then
yeah. So and basically, Danny McBride wants to do the classic Springfield story. Where basically G.I. Joe goes to this idyllic little small town called Springfield, and basically I think it was in Illinois or somewhere. I don't know. Anyway,
they never mentioned a state because every state has a Springfield.
Yeah, they never mentioned a state. Yeah, but it's this idyllic little small town, and everything's kind of picture perfect in Mayberry. But what's underneath it is a whole shitload of snakes.
Yeah. Oh man, and that. Yeah, V. By the way, whenever you get a chance, like start reading those early Joe stuff too, especially with the Springfield.
Yeah,
stuff.
The Marvel stuff.
Skip to maybe like issue 20-ish or so, but it's like
start from number 1, man. You got to read Hot Potato if the second story in number 1. That's such a good story.
Yeah, I mean they are good stories, but it's like it really doesn't start getting to cooking with like the more episodic and soap opera-y style of storytelling until
it's before you get to issue 20 because once the Destro was introduced, I think in issue 10 or 11, things start getting cooking when Destro gets introduced.
Yeah. So, because the whole Dr. Venom stuff to me doesn't really go anywhere. Like about the time Dr. Venom and what's the Eskimo guy?
Quinn. Yeah.
Quinn. Yeah, about the time that like they die is about the time the series picks up for me. Like
that's the first few issues, but of course Dr. Venom has such a lasting legacy in the G.I. Joe universe because of the brainwave scanner.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
still being currently used in the current G.I. Joe Real American Hero comic as we speak.
That yeah. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, really cool storyline where basically
Yeah.
Dr. Venom planted a literal Easter egg in Snake Eyes' when they basically had him captured, trying to basically take his memories and make their own,
Yeah,
you
in
know,
like issue 3.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so Snake Eyes basically a Easter egg was planted there, and that Easter egg was basically killed GI Joe. Basically once this thing like sets off, and it was like basically like it had like a little like a time bomb kind of thing. So it literally like, waited like what 30, 40 years to go off. The only problem is that basically Snake Eyes has been copied onto two different other people with other kind of weird stuff we won't get into. So basically, essentially, in the GI Joe universe, you kind of have three Snake Eyes going right now, and all three of them had that same Easter egg in there. But there was a caveat because the storyline's finished now, so we can go past it. There was a caveat though, is that the information was old. So Joes that were around 30, 40 years ago, yeah, they're on the list, but basically they didn't update the list with like say the second wave. So like so like, Scarlet, Hawk, Short Fuse, Clutch, Flash, Duke, Snow Job, first maybe like first and second wave. Those guys were on there, but basically anybody past like 84, yeah. So there's a little problem with the programming there. So basically, like,
Wow.
there were some newer Joes that basically like were they thought they were going to get attacked, and like, oh, he doesn't recognize us because we're kind of new. So like, cool, okay. So yeah, there's
Crazy Legs is like, not gonna get me.
yep.
Yeah.
All right. Enough
Yeah.
sidebars and all that nonsense. It's time to get to
Yes.
the topic du jour here.
And
Seth's
I am
effed
gonna
up history.
yes, and I'm gonna try and pull up my notes because I was telling Georgia, yeah, if my audio is weird, I'm still having mic issues because Windows is a bitch.
You sound great.
And
Yeah, you sound fine.
oh, okay, well, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm only on one screen, so it's like I would be like staring off into nothing if I like yeah. So I'm trying to pull up my notes on my phone. So if I'm looking down, that's why I'm not just
Oh, it's
being
fine.
bored and texting. So yeah. But no, tonight's effed up history is it's more of a catch-all than this though, but it's shit that we thought that we knew, or it's shit that we think we know that we don't really know.
Okay. Okay.
And that's to say stuff like it's very easy to think that, like, especially us like living in America right now, is that like us as human beings, like our default state is civilization, right?
Yeah.
So like we're people, and we're already like we're in part of a system that like there is no like the way that we live now. Like, I mean, technically day to day, everybody's got their issues and everything, but like,
Yeah.
generally speaking, it's like we know that it's like we can go to the grocery store and buy food,
Right.
or like, yeah, it's like we have to go to work to get money to go and buy food to pay for dwellings and shit like that.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
we have all that, and like we all like collectively agree that it's like, I'm not going to go to your house and beat you to death with a rock and steal your food. I'm going to go. Yeah, it's like a part of that whole societal, like that whole
Yeah.
thing that we call civilization,
Right.
right? Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you really start to think about it, like the one thing that we know about like just humanity in general is that civilizations are the things that we have seen rise up, and they go for a period of time, but what do they always do?
They fall.
It is collapse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I was looking up the numbers here. The Earth itself is like, if you're going by scientific numbers, like, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll just take theological stuff off the table. We're not having that part of the topic right now. Like, this is
Sure.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
sciencey numbers, right?
Science
So
numbers. Yeah.
the Earth is 4.54 billion years old, give or take 50 million years,
Okay.
right? And so it's like that's one of those numbers that's like really kind of infinitesimal for us to really comprehend in
Mm-hmm.
any way just by saying it, right? So like now, out of all that time, now from what we know currently in our historical record, like out of 4.5 billion or 4.54 billion years ago, Homo sapiens have only been like as a species on this planet for 300,000 of those years. right? So it's like a high like there's like the whole cosmic calendar thing like that Carl Sagan has like we're like the last second of fucking New Year's Eve before we start
Mm-hmm.
jack shit, right? So
Yeah.
now there's still other humans on Earth at the time, right? But like Homo sapiens don't start to appear until like 300,000 years ago. But it's like part of the whole evolutionary chain, like of how we make it, right?
Right. Yeah.
So the thing that now there has been out of those 300,000 years, it has only been within the past. Hang on, did I write that down? It's been within. Shit, I didn't write. Yeah, okay, fuck. Of course, I didn't cut. But it's within the past, really, like 13,000 years
Mm-hmm.
that we have like really started to like it was when we started to really like we can pinpoint when people started to collect in groups and like really start to do things like farm, like and build like permanent structures and dwellings and
Yeah.
and there's all kinds of stuff. There's theories as to why this happened, like in this period, this weird subsect of time that is like a fraction of the 300,000 years that people that were just as mentally capable as we are now would not have done, right? And it's like whether it be like global warmings or like seismic shifts, things like that, all that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
shit. And so but that's the other thing too. It's like it's all theory. So it's like we go back to shit like there's stuff that we want to really say that we confidently know, but if anybody tells you that they actually know this shit, they're full of shit because it's there's always there's a lot of the ways that data can point to like highly likely probabilities, but it
Right.
doesn't always necessarily mean that that is the case. And so that also leads to a lot of like the pseudoscience or like fringe theorists and pseudoscience people. Like a lot of that stuff like on the fringes is like sometimes that even cycles back into be like more widely considered mainstream. And a
Right.
lot of this stuff was like pseudo archaeology at some point until people started digging past what is called the Clovis layer,
Mm.
right? And the Clovis layer is the lowest layer of land, or like if we dig deep enough, that's when like we can say that like Homo sapiens humans have been in the Americas, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So that we weren't supposed to be we're the Clovis layer. I can't remember the exact point of the Clovis layer, but it's something like maybe like 2-3 thousand years or something like that. Like
Right. Okay.
because like the indigenous. Well, that now when you're over in San Francisco and California, it's like and they're digging in construction sites, they dig up woolly mammoth bones all the fucking time, right?
Right.
Because it's fucking California. Well, the other things is that they started noticing is some of these mammoth bones are actually created into tools, right? And it's like they're well past the Clovis layer, and these are showing signs that there were people walking around in California 130,000 years ago,
Yeah.
or no, it's like 45,000. Yeah, so long before we were ever supposed to be in America. So all of the timeline stuff that you can read in your history books when you were a kid, like and learning in your social studies class, is all wrong now because the timelines have been shifted.
Yeah.
If you look in the textbooks now. So it's like, and that's the kind of shit that it's going on. It's like stuff we don't know.
Mm.
So it also goes there. There's also something called the Silurian hypothesis. Have you ever heard of this thing?
I've not. No.
Okay, so it's the title comes from like the Doctor Who and lizard people aliens, right? That have lived like
Oh,
they
okay. I
were
knew
like
that name sounded familiar.
yeah
It's like, yeah.
yeah
Okay.
they were the
All right.
prehistoric aliens, but it's these dudes that like they wrote this paper in 2017, and the whole idea is that how would we know what signs could we look for to see if like in the fossil record of an industrial society would we notice signs
Mm.
of that.
Right.
And the question was and now they did not think that there has been another industrial society like we are like an industrialized society like based off of like largely based off of like European military warfare tactics, right?
Okay.
Like so and that's what broadly shaped most of at least the eastern part or the western part of the world.
Mm.
Like Asia starts to have their own histories and everything, and like if you really kind of study like different warfare patterns and everything, it's all like like once you get like crazy motherfuckers like Genghis Khan that start shooting bows and arrows at people, and it
Yeah.
totally fucking breaks the game, right?
Yeah.
It's like when the Britain started to invade over here, and they were doing the whole stacked line formation, and like the people over here like, hey, if we just shoot them from cover, it's like we're gonna kill a lot more of them. Like that's the kind of shit that just changes like in different regions and stuff like that too. So
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
like but like the for whatever reason the European mindset, was the one that largely prevailed and colonized a lot of shit, right?
Hmm.
So, fuck, where was I going? That's the problem with a bunch of this stuff is when you start going so far into the different parts of the historical record with their various things of how stuff that starts to become more fuzzy
Yeah.
too, right? And we have no idea of like 98%, 99.9% of the people that have ever lived on Earth. There's no evidence of in the first place,
Hmm.
right? So it's only what we know. So it's like, yeah, Easter Island is another example of this too.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, so it's like Easter Island with all the big statues and everything. Like that's a society that like we there's documentation of other like societies around there having like interacting with these people, and these people cut down all of their own trees to and used all of their resources to erect these statues that serve no fucking purpose for their society whatsoever, and basically made themselves extinct. And there really isn't much of an understanding as to why, right? And but we just know that these are there. But then others like we have records of them being normal and shit before that, before they decided to go fucking crazy. So like, yeah, it's like more shit that we know that we think that we know that we don't really know.
Sure.
Uh,
And well, and yeah, it's kind of the same, thing like Stonehenge is kind of the same thing. Like it seems like every few decades, like, oh well, we thought it was this thing, but now it may be a clock, or now it may be,
yeah,
this, or so it's like it's like history and science and archaeology are changing things, even if it's ancient history, because we're
yeah,
still finding shit out. So I mean, we always
yeah,
hear about like ancient Mayan civilizations or ancient Mesopotamians, or like these like strangely advanced, highly advanced civilizations in not quite prehistoric era, but basically
yeah.
like fairly far removed from our what we think of as advanced civilizations.
Well,
Like
and it's funny that the way that you say that too, because it's like when you say advanced civilizations, like to us, like to us, advanced is like computer technology. It's like we like a lot of our, a lot of our stuff anymore is based off of silicone microchips, and it's
sure,
like
yeah.
that's advanced to us, right? But then you've got there's nothing to say. Like if you look at you can look at history from just like a timeline of events, or you can also start to add an anthropological angle to it,
Mm,
which helps you understand things a little bit more, right? So it's like that is how our society is based off of like electricity and electronics, that kind of, that like yeah, that kind of robust thing. So but like what you're talking about with an advanced civilization like the Mayans, or what or in that case, they're advanced in ways that it's like they understand like how to take more natural materials and construct them into ways that are in different ways than we construct things now to make
mhm.
lasting structures. There's pyramids all the fuck over, South America and Mexico and shit, right? Just
Right.
because of the way that they were built. Uh, and it was like they did their goal of having a society was not necessarily what ours was, as our understanding, living in a quote unquote civilization, right?
Right.
So then we tend to look at outside civilizations like that as almost like, almost like the like either a savage or an outsider, like almost barbaric to a certain extent, even though it was not necessarily, from an anthropological point of view, it's like that is totally their way of life, that it's like they have chosen to not live, in the same way that we have. So it's like that leads to a whole different set of questions,
Sure.
right there, as to yeah, as
Yeah, I mean,
the
because yeah,
that
they,
part, yeah,
they
but
they may have had calendars, and they may have had like cities and capitals of cities and stuff like that, but they also like still sacrifice people, so like the sun god wouldn't kill them.
yeah.
So
Well, even okay, so even stuff like that too, that goes back to the whole idea of like that's the kind of stuff that starts happening when civilizations fall,
yeah,
right? So it's like we don't really have an understanding of how long it lasted before that, when there was the salad days, right?
right.
But going back to like the use of resources for an example, right? Like, so we have also built our society to base on like to burn fossil fuels, to power our everyday life, right?
Hmm.
Well, it's like something like, those older civilizations like that, they did not choose to do that. They used the sun, or they used things like, or like like using it as a clock, like, a sundial, right? That was like a
Right.
resource that they didn't have to charge. They didn't have to fucking worry about it. They just had to make sure that it was set in the right spot, and they could
Yep.
look at it anytime and it would fucking work.
Hmm.
So it's like that was it's not so like, we have things that may break, our watches batteries die and shit like that. Like
Yep.
that it's just, like until we truly live as part of a different culture or society, we can't understand that unless we, study the shit out of it to kind of
Sure.
to see these little nuances of just fucked up history in general. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, hold on. What else did I have in the old?
Well, in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
I was
Sorry, go
saying,
ahead.
I was saying in the categories of like things we think we know, we don't know. Would something like the Mandela effect fall into that as well, where it's like it's a collective, misunderstanding of something, where it's like we think it's one thing, but actually it's like, oh no, it's not. Like basically Smokey the Bear is an example. We always think, Smokey the Bear, right? No, it's Smokey the
No,
Bear. Smokey Bear. No, the.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a good question because it's like that even goes into that goes into like what is a society is like how we remember things
Mm-hmm.
too, because that would fall into like because yeah, it's but the way that we record information is very important,
Yeah.
and so it's like but the methods that we record information can also be wrong. So talking about using an example from the Mandela effect, the Fruit of the Loom cornucopia
There you go.
logo, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing that fucks me up is because, Fruit of the Loom themselves even came out and said, we've never used a cornucopia as a logo. And then all of a sudden there's people that are showing up with Fruit of the Loom merchandise, Fruit of the Loom corporate documents. They got the cornucopia logo on them.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So so what, like that kind of information, like it gets that, that's the kind of information that you're going to Google in 20 years and you're not going to know what, who to believe one way or the other. Right.
Sure. Yeah.
And so it's like, that's how information can get also lost over time too.
Mhm.
Also, because yeah, somebody else could see the Fruit of the Loom cornucopia. It ain't going to mean a fucking underwear logo to them. It's going to mean something totally different. Like we may not even be looking at Egyptian hieroglyphics the right way to truly understand them. Yeah, because now there's a current hypothesis. Like we're all used to seeing like like the whenever they're talking about like these humanoid figures with animal heads and shit, right? Like we're
Yeah.
used
Yeah.
to seeing that. Well, it's now like we're actually finding pieces that are like like it's an understanding that it's like these aren't their literal gods. These are representations of them as
So
part of
that
it.
may have
So
just
it's
been
like
like a priest with a mask on.
right, yeah, and it was almost described as like it would be the way that like we can look at a meme and understand things like the context of the joke that it was coming from or whatever, but like that would be almost like a hieroglyphic form of a meme where they would look at it and immediately understand like four forms of context just from the image that they were looking at, and
Uh-huh.
not necessarily that it was a divine thing. Not to say that they did
Okay.
not worship like that, but like
Yeah. Yeah.
they didn't, yeah, that but yeah, yeah, we could be looking at Egyptian hieroglyphics totally wrong
Interesting.
because yeah, because the only way we even know how to translate languages is if we have something, is if we have really two pieces of writing that we know say the same thing just in different languages, right?
Mhm.
Like shit, we like the Rosetta Stone itself is like, yeah, it had like five different things written on it in different languages, and that's how we know how to translate a bunch of old shit that we didn't know how to translate like 70 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
And
Well,
yeah,
and hell, I mean, even the Christian Bible itself, it's been translated and altered in so many ways and forms itself, where there's a lot of things that are
there
lost in translation. Or
so yeah, that's one thing that always fucking gets. So Hebrew, right? The language of
yeah,
Hebrew, right, has been around for something like 4,500 years.
yeah,
English has been around for 13 or no something like 2,300 years.
so a lot less.
English, yeah, it's
Yeah,
significantly less.
yeah,
But the thing is, the longer languages are, they grow and evolve, right? So
hmm
Hebrew has like 15 different like has one word that could mean 15 different ways or things depending on how you say it or how you use it. And there's different grammatical inflections, there's different gender tones and different verb, like different adverb, like how they use verbiage and shit like that.
yeah,
And it's like, yeah, and so it's like there's no way that you can make something a word for word translation in something like that without, because it's like it's the same way like where anybody tries to translate something from Japanese to English. It's like if anybody that could, you can go and watch like a bad translation of a kung fu movie, or you can watch a good translation, and it's like it would be almost be a totally different thing. It just depends on the
hmm
understanding of the translator. but
Yeah.
that's because that like language does not. You have to have someone who can also understand the fundamentals of language.
Yeah.
And the thing with the Christian Bible that always angers me is when people want to try and argue with the Hebrew, they'll bust out the Strong's Concordance, which is a Hebrew lexicon. They're a Hebrew Greek lexicon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that thing was never supposed to be academic in the first place, right? And so it's
Mm.
like basically like people will try and Mad Libs like the four choices that it has for words, like that, that this like one passage or one word might mean. Like they try
Hmm.
and Mad Libs it in to make it, justify like their interpretation of it, right?
Okay.
And yeah, we could do a whole we could do a whole other thing on like just like the Bible from a textual criticism standpoint, from a historical
Yeah.
scholarship without the theological, because that's an interesting can of worms like in its own self to me. But
Well, yeah. I mean, we've had so many, kings and popes who've changed the Bible over the centuries that there are certain things when they were in power and they didn't like it, like, yeah, we're going to take that part out.
yeah,
And so, yeah, and then of course you've got, the infamous Apocrypha, which are supposed to like all these, like a collection of books that were from the Bible that were taken out, including the supposedly the Gospel of Jesus Christ. So basically, he actually wrote his own chapter, and it was taken out because there were some folks in power that didn't like what he had to say. So,
yeah, yeah,
so is
and
it?
a lot of that goes like with the historical textual criticism part too, where it's like
Mm,
that like you're not even necessarily like there's a whole like argument about pseudofigria, and like you can talk about the Paul's letters all day long on that one.
sure,
but
yeah,
uh but yeah, but even like stuff like so like the Torah itself, right? Like so like you got to remember too, like with the Bible, like it's split in the Old Testament and the New Testament, the Old Testament consisting primarily of the Torah and like the Pentateuch.
yeah,
And but like that in and of itself, there's evidence in there of where like, and it's actually like there's actually like outside of the Bible in the I can't I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called, but or what the dude's name was, but he was at some point in the Mesopotamian region, like that. Well, they all had like their whole they had a multi god pantheon, right? Like they
mm,
like and Yahweh was just one of the gods, right? The other ones they had were Baal and Asherah and like a couple of others, right?
right, yeah,
So, like in Hebrew culture, it's also very strange for like people to not be married. So Yahweh was actually married to Asherah
yeah,
in like the original canon, but it was edited out of stuff like the Torah so that it only reads like they were rival deities. And so
hmm,
then yeah, it was there. Yeah, from an academic standpoint, it's fascinating as shit. Uh,
nice.
I think so anyway. Yeah.
So, is there anything kind of in the modern world that would fall under this category of something we collectively think we all know, but we're actually 100% wrong about?
Oh shit. Probably a lot of conceptions about space
Okay.
and about like relativity and stuff, because it's like a lot of people think that that a lot of people believe that nothing can move faster than light,
Hmm.
and well, things can move faster than light, like
Yeah.
we don't necessarily know what they are yet, but it's like as far as like the physics model like in the world, like yes, like there are things that can surpass light speed. uh and things like that, and like that space has no gravity, and space actually does, or other things are like space has gravity, and
Hmm.
like it's like the rotate like stuff that's rotating, and it's like the International Space Station, for example. You see the astronauts floating around, and
Yeah.
it's like it's not because there's zero gravity, it's just because they're falling in a perpetual
Yeah.
state of falling. It's just caught in that. uh but yeah, that would, and as far as stuff that like currently that stuff, or as far as things that we think we know that we don't know, a lot of that would just be past history, that we think we know how things used to be, but it's been history is always written by the victors anyway, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So a lot of stuff has just been whitewashed and covered over to where you don't really understand, like yeah. you, so like the civil rights marches, right? Like
Yeah.
they were they were they were originally they were originally presented as race riots,
Yeah.
right? Because that was how that the media was trying to present it to the white people in the South at the time, to justify spraying down black people with water hoses.
Yeah.
And the point with the point that the black folks were trying to make was that if we are just existing, and people hate us enough to turn dogs on us and get sprayed with
Spray us
water
with
hoses.
those. Yeah.
The point was that they wanted people to let they had to let that happen to them, to let people see it in
Hmm.
order to understand that the inhumane things that were happening. And a lot of that stuff has been whitewashed, well, yeah, whitewashed out of
Hmm.
history to kind of soften it, to make it seem like it's like things were a lot more peaceful than what they were,
Yeah.
or that like some slaves enjoyed being slaves or were treated well or things like that. It's like
Yeah.
history. Yeah, history itself is the it is always written by the victors. And
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, just because I'm telling you this shit doesn't mean you got to believe it. Like, please look it all up.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like challenge it. It's like learn. Yeah, it's like it's like I'm not saying that I'm infallible with my stuff. My numbers are probably way fucking off with some of the stuff that I'm saying, but I don't think they are, because I got notes for some of it. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. But yeah, it's very much of like we're losing current history within. I'm amazed at what we don't remember from 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was going to kind of bring that point up. There's so many times where, like, when we were basically, fighting against Saddam Hussein, it was like, guys, like 15, 20 years ago, he was an ally. We were working with him. We put him in power.
yeah,
And then he did stuff we don't like, or he's taking stuff that we make money off of from us. And so that has angered us. So now he's our enemy. But yeah,
yeah,
not too long ago, we put him in that position. Same with like Osama bin Laden was the same way. He worked with the CIA in the late 90s trying to free Afghanistan from Russian control.
yeah. And we were helping because it was in the 80s,
Oh,
because
yeah,
that was,
yeah,
yeah, that was the part of the Cold War.
yeah,
The United States was funding Afghanistan's war against Russia,
yeah.
and pulled out at the end of the Cold War and left Afghanistan against Russia on their own. That's
Hmm.
part of the reason why Afghanistan hates us so fucking much,
Yep.
is because we basically left them to die. We just shoved them in front of the school bully, and we're like, figure it out, motherfuckers, and yeah, and left. And
Yeah.
and we did the same thing in Iran, like with the sudden withdrawal of troops. But the war had already been going on for 12 years at the time. This most recent time. Well, no, well,
Hmm.
not the most recent Iran war, but yeah, what, yeah, the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
time, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah, so there's a lot of history that's repeated itself. Of course, like yeah, we basically Afghanistan hates us because we essentially handed them over to Russia, sort of thing. But then also at the same time, like back in World War II, you have what England did to the Russians, to the Cossacks. It's kind of basically essentially handing them back over to the Germans, for betraying them, sort of thing. So it's like there's all kinds of like evil things that we try to wash over through history. That basically sometimes they remember and sometimes they're not. So
yeah. But yeah,
yeah.
I guess that was what goes back to, we're living in a very privileged time, because we're living in we're living in the most advanced society that we know about.
Mm.
And it's like, and that really is kind of saying something,
Yeah.
like, or the most advanced time of the world, because it's like the like, what are our again, like, we're based off of like, our society's built off of fossil fuels, and it's like, consuming renewable resources. But like, all of this shit in 100,000 years will be gone, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's just a blip on the radar. It's like the Hoover Dam, I think, will only last 10,000 years once it stops operating, after like, and then in 10,000 years it'll get all eroded to shit. uh
Yeah.
one of the cool things, like, watch Life After People clips on YouTube, and it'll
Oh
explain,
yeah.
like, yeah, that show was really good at explaining like how quickly that Earth will basically reclaim itself. And that's the other thing too, like, with the historical stuff that we don't know, like, the Earth basically resets its geographical, like, topographical template, every few million years.
Hmm.
Like, which is a blip on like the timeline of the planet that we're on.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like, the stuff that, maybe there were advanced societies that we don't know about, and all that shit's just in the ocean that we've never found, or it's just gone.
Or it's buried under the loam and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows what's buried under the Sahara? You know, there was something there before that desert.
Had to be,
You know,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, every desert was something before it became a desert. So yeah.
yeah,
So of course, I mean, there's always the mythology of Atlantis as well, being another advanced society that was basically taken by the ocean, and
yeah,
basically, but that's
yeah.
that's mythology as well. So, but
Well,
maybe there's some history to it. You never know.
yeah, that's another that kind of stuff too. I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to talk about that. Like the Atlantis itself is only mentioned in I can't remember if it's the Iliad or Odyssey or the Odyssey, but it's one of them. Yeah, it's only mentioned like once or twice in historiography, and it's not
Hmm.
even mentioned in necessarily even being an actual place.
Right.
But it's been theorized that it actually could have been just because of things like when like early parts of Africa were raided or Egypt were raided by the quote unquote sea peoples.
Hmm.
And there's really hasn't been like yeah, that's all the Egyptians called them were the sea peoples. So it's like
Hmm.
we don't really know who they were. And of course there were probably people around there in like different areas, invading, but it's like
Yeah.
nothing ever fucking actually says what it is or who they
Hmm.
were. Uh and then there's cases of like maps that have been found in Greece that was have things like have the lands or have land formations on them that they shouldn't have known about,
Yeah.
like that wouldn't be discovered for another 400 or 500 years, but like they had they were knowing to go around them or going to them at the time. So it's like, yeah, we don't know shit about shit basically.
Very true. Well, hell,
Yeah,
man, it's like you just you said earlier, it's like there's people don't remember things from 10 years ago. Yeah, I mean, there's times where you bring up a pop culture thing, like oh yeah, I remember where I was. I was like less than 10 years ago, or
yeah,
or some people think it's something that's newer, and like oh no, that was 30, 40 years ago. So
yeah.
so yeah, it's like memory is a funny thing, and like you said, also documentation is a funny thing. And even in this modern advanced world, sometimes our documentation is untrustworthy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then even think about like all of our stuff. Like it may be something that you have will live 100, like 100. If just society stops tomorrow, and like
Hmm.
the shit that you have, like maybe something will last 100 years, right? So
Yeah.
somebody might like come into your house at like 100 years from now and like find one of your comic books, right? But it's like
Yeah.
maybe they don't have a fucking concept of what a comic book is. How do they view that object? How do they view the like your GI Joe collection? Like
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, it's if even any of that stuff survives for it doesn't catch on fire and just disappears or whatever.
Yeah.
It's yeah,
I know. See, they think all these are gods, but then since my doom is much larger and much more ornate, then he must be the supreme, which they would be correct. They'd be correct about that. So there you
yeah,
go. Yeah. Well, awesome, man. Dude,
yeah.
listen, I always love your effed up history segments here because I never quite know what's going to come up here. Aside sometimes the title, and they're all, like I said, they're always fascinating. So I guess yeah, there's always some just great weird shit and just you know just fascinating concepts throughout any kind of history. Doesn't matter what it
Well,
is.
well,
So
well, thank you. Yeah, because this one has been kind of on my mind for a while because I'd been going down a bunch of weird rabbit holes about like just the weird anachronisms in history and just things that shouldn't have been because that stuff always fascinating. Next time though, I will do like a more focused deep dive
all
because
right,
I've got a few ideas on that one. But thank you for
nice.
indulging me tonight and letting me wing it more with no notes. I think I did cover all my high points though, so
So
I
you
feel pretty
did
good about it.
you did great, man. So there you go. So yeah,
Well, thank you.
see, your
Yeah.
stars, your star already, brother. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in and all your comments as well for the show. So thank you guys very much for coming out with us tonight here. And of course, always, share with your friends, share with people you don't know. Like walk up to a person on the street and just shove their phone in the face, like, here, watch this. Just do that. That's a very effective marketing.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Of course, I get to see my boys on Sunday because we're going to go watch Terminator 2 in theaters.
It will
So
be a blast.
looking very forward to it. I got a big ass thick stack of comics for you, sir. So
Woohoo!
Yeah, yeah. Anywho, so we will see you guys here in a couple of weeks on the next episode of Fanatic Forum. But until then, we of course going to leave you with a message from our friends from Comic Books for Kids. But one more time, though, rest in power to Dolly, Tim, and Peter. We love you guys. Thank you for everything you all did for us, for all the entertainment and every good thing you did. So we love you, and you get your break now. So there you go. So until next time, we will see you. TTFN.
My name is Mark Weiss, and I am the founder and president of an organization called Comic Books for Kids. 6 years ago this month, we embarked on a journey of passion and heart. Our goal was to make a difference for children in hospitals and cancer centers. Little could we have ever imagined the response we have now. Starting with just hopes and dreams, we had no money for our mission. We had no product to give to the hospitals, and we had only called a couple hospitals and asked them, if we were to provide you with comic books, would you be interested? And they said yes. So we embarked on a 1-year journey to make a difference for these kids. We realized that even though we can't take away the reason these children are in hospitals, we can perhaps, while they are there, let them fly like a superhero, be princes and princesses, and embark on a mystical and magical journey to take them away from where they are in that hospital bed. Today, and thanks to your support, we are thrilled to say that we are now the largest charity in the U.S., supporting well over 200 hospitals in all 50 states for not only comic books, but for other pop culture items like Funko Pops, action figures, coloring books, Spanish bilingual items, backpacks, and more. When we received materials that were inappropriate for the young ones, we started a sister charity called Comic Book for Troops, and overnight, we became the largest charity in the U.S. for these same items to all branches of the military. We want to thank our friends for providing us their support and for allowing us the means to make so many happy with their gracious give to us.